Paul Scott, a brand that many of us might not recognize today, but back in our grandparents' time, it was synonymous with innovation and power. Paul Scott engines were true machines, imposing, loud, with massive torque and impressive reliability, although their appetite for fuel was insatiable. Let's explore how this brand left its mark on the automotive and railroad history of the United States and completely changed the course of today's trucks. It all began at the end of the 19th century with Albert J. Hall, a young man passionate about internal combustion engines. Paul, just 19 years old in 1901, was already working to perfect engines. Still a teenager, he dedicated himself body and soul to improving the technology of his time. By then, engines had only been around for a few years, and he was already developing improvements that would soon revolutionize the industry. His goal was clear: to create engines of such high quality that nothing, except maybe gasoline, could stop them. In 1908, Hall met Bird Scott while working on his car. The chemistry between them was immediate. Scott offered him the chance to join an ambitious plan to build engines for the Erie-Caraway railroads, which had a clear need for power. That's how the first Hall Scott engine came to be, a beast with 4,019 cubic inches, or about 66 liters, featuring huge cylinders measuring 8 by 10 inches arranged in a straight 6 configuration. With Hall focused on product development and Scott on management, the Hall Scott Motor Car Company, based in Berkeley, California, began to make its mark in the motor industry. In its early years, Paul Scott established itself in the railroad sector, producing powerful and reliable engines, but it wasn't long before they expanded into other areas, particularly the rapidly growing aviation sector. The company developed a wide range of engines, some reaching up to 450 horsepower. One of its greatest achievements was collaborating on the design of the Liberty L-12, a famous V-12 engine from 1917 that produced over 400 horsepower and powered aircraft during World War I. Hall's expertise and knowledge were not limited to just one field. He got involved in race car engines and worked on the Duesenbergs, which were famous for their performance and durability. Soon, Hall Scott gained a reputation in the automotive, naval, and heavy transportation sectors. The company was acquired by American Car and Foundry, but Hall and Scott continued to lead the main projects. However, in 1929, Hall left the company due to disagreements over its direction, although he left behind the Invader engine as his legacy, which was designed for boats and became very popular in the military field. The Invader had 998 cubic inches of displacement, delivering between 250 and 275 horsepower, which was impressive for the time. Its design was so solid that it was used in both recreational boats and naval operations. The success of the Invader inspired Hall Scott to adapt the technology for heavy land vehicles, creating the Series 400 engine, a version intended for trucks and heavy-duty work vehicles. These engines, made of cast iron with an overhead camshaft and a dual ignition system, were so reliable that they were used for years in emergency equipment and fire trucks. The Series 400 was innovative not only for its power, but also for its efficiency compared to other gasoline engines of its time, when diesel engines barely reached 200 horsepower. The 400 series, in its different versions ranging from 855 to 1091 cubic inches, could produce between 250 and 350 horsepower. In the 1950s, Paul Scott took the design even further, manufacturing models with turbochargers and fuel injection, boosting the power up to 400 horsepower and reaching a torque of over 1,300 pound-feet. As turbocharged diesel engines grew in popularity, the demand for Hall Scott gasoline engines began to decline. However, the company had left an indelible mark on the industry. These engines were used for decades in heavy freight transport, such as in the legendary 1948 Peterbilt 354 DT truck, which hauled logs in the Feather River Pine Mills Mountains. Additionally, in the military field, Hall-Scott engines powered tank recovery vehicles during World War II, demonstrating their durability and reliability in the most demanding environments. One of Hall-Scott's most spectacular engines was the Defender, an evolution of the Invader that used a cylinder configuration of 5.5 by 7 inches, generating an impressive 575 horsepower from 32.7 liters of displacement. And when the United States Navy demanded even more power, Hall-Scott increased the cylinder bore and created an engine with 2,182 cubic inches that, with a supercharger, achieved 900 horsepower. This engine was specially designed to withstand saltwater corrosion, a true marvel of engineering. Although Hall-Scott tried to adapt to the needs of the market, the growing preference for diesel engines marked the decline of their gasoline engines. Nevertheless, one of the last projects was a special commission for Kenworth, which built a truck powered by a 36-liter Hall-Scott engine, capable of generating 600 horsepower and an astonishing 9,900 pound-feet of torque. This monstrous engine weighed more than 4,000 pounds, making it a true giant on the roads, although due to its limited production it never became as well known as other engines of the era. Today, Hall-Scott is a name that remains in the history books, and its engines are becoming increasingly rare. However, the company's legacy lives on among enthusiasts and in the applications where these machines still endure. Hall-Scott was known for building engines to the highest standards, not at the lowest cost, and their dedication to quality meant that many of their engines surpassed 1 million miles without major repairs. Albert G. Hall always demanded the best materials and designs, and that was evident in every engine that left his factory. With the departure of its founders, Hall-Scott was unable to develop a diesel engine competitive enough for the market, which ultimately led to the company's closure. But Hall-Scott's impact on the engine industry is undeniable, and it left a legacy of innovation and excellence that still resonates today. Did you know the story of Hall-Scott? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and check out this video if you want to keep exploring the world of highway giants.